James Herriot arrived in the rural town of Derby as a newly minted veterinarian, trading the sheltered lecture halls of a Scottish university for the rugged Yorkshire hills. His introduction to this new life happens in the dead of winter during a screaming snowstorm on a midnight farm call. He finds himself lying bare-chested on a freezing stone floor, caked in blood and dirt. With his entire arm submerged inside a cow's womb, trying desperately to turn a stuck calf, he battles the exhausted animal for hours without making any progress. Lying in the freezing muck, he realizes his textbooks entirely left out the agonizing physical labor required to actually deliver a calf. This grueling midnight struggle sets a harsh, entirely unromantic baseline for the first 2 years of his veterinary practice. Herriot quickly discovers that the animals are only half the job. His daily working environment is dictated by two highly unpredictable colleagues, his boss Siegfried Farnan and Siegfried's brother Tristan. The clinic dynamics are chaotic. After Herriot successfully operates on a dog, the animal enters a prolonged recovery where it paces and howls uncontrollably. Tristan is left behind to monitor the patient while the others go out on calls. Desperate for relief from the constant noise, he stuffs cotton in his ears and eventually resorts to getting completely drunk. When Siegfried returns and finds his brother intoxicated, he decides on a very specific punishment. He forces Tristan to take the still howling, stumbling dog into his own bedroom for the entire night. For Herriot, surviving the bizarre, petty infighting of his own clinic proves to be exactly as demanding as diagnosing the livestock. The sheer volume of work leaves him entirely exhausted. Farmers frequently pull him out of bed multiple times a night for emergency calls. During one particularly brutal stretch, a sleep-deprived Herriot attends a difficult horse birth without bothering to change out of his pajamas. He delivers the foal, but then absent-mindedly drives to a local cafe, still in his night clothes. The local patrons immediately start laughing at him. To make matters worse, his food arrives right as he realizes his pajamas don't have any money in the pockets, forcing him to flee the cafe, entirely humiliated. Despite the exhaustion, his career advances. He accepts a position as an inspector for the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, tasked with testing local cattle herds for tuberculosis. Herriot attempts to apply modern efficiency to the job, drafting a tightly scheduled itinerary of farm visits, but he immediately clashes with the local farmers who operate without any sense of urgent timing. He eventually finds his professional footing by setting aside his rigid metropolitan schedules to match the slow, unbothered rhythm of the Dales. By the end of those first 2 years, Herriot successfully integrated into the Derby community. He learned to survive the relentless cold and the severe economic hardship gripping his clients during the Great Depression. Herriot's early rounds occurred at a medical crossroads. His stories capture the moment the veterinary industry began discarding ancient centuries-old folk remedies in favor of modern pharmaceuticals and new drug discoveries. This medical modernization coincided with a cultural one as disposable income grew through the 20th century. The vet's focus moved from heavy beasts of burden to domestic pets, marking a massive structural transition in the industry. Years later, he gathered this specific window of time into a collection of semi-autobiographical anecdotes. That collection resulted in over 60 million books in print. All Creatures Great and Small is today considered a classic. By recording the factual, mud-soaked reality of his daily work, James Herriot took the localized struggles of a few country farmers and turned them into a globally enduring classic.